Well, that wasn't great. Boston Celtics had their chances, actually, but cold shooting, bad defense, maybe the third game in 4 nights, whatever it is, they look bad against the Lakers. Let's do it right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Yup. Beam down, be ever ready. Recognize the city of champs. Back to back, if I say it, it's stamp. Locked on number 19, the best one, the next one. Juice loose in your pool now for the next run. It's the C's, who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT, Karalis, recap the madness. Every game, every practice. Best daily pod, no cap like Brad Beckett. Plus like Jrue to KP, tap in daily. Prime time, dapping D White on the sideline. Raining Jayson, how it started, raising business, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day, and I got you covered Monday through Friday. Bonus podcasts like on Saturday when they play the Dallas Mavericks. I'll have a podcast after that. Plenty of podcasts. They're all free, and they're all available right on your device if you subscribe, so go ahead and do that. Or if you want to watch the show on YouTube, go do that there. Get into the comment section. Share your thoughts about everything that I'm saying here, about whatever you saw in this game against the Lakers. It's a fun place to be in that Locked On Celtics YouTube comment section. Well, I don't know about today, but it usually is. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. From the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the NFL playoffs even more exciting. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win your first bet. That's FanDuel.com to get started. Celtics. 117-96 lost to the Lakers, right? And the losses to the Lakers always sting just a tiny bit more than other losses. You can probably say losses to the Lakers, losses to the Sixers, losses to Miami. They're all in that same, I think, scale, but Lakers and Sixers especially. And this wasn't a good one. Third game in 4 nights. And then this is like, I know people don't want to make the excuse, so fine. If you don't want to make the excuse, don't. And we can go a couple of different directions here. People can be really, really worked up about it, or I think we can, be, where I am, which is like, this sucked. It wasn't great. I didn't like watching it. There was really not much to like about this game. The Celtics Twitter account, which normally tweets out tons of highlights, tweeted out 2 things during this entire game of highlights. There wasn't that much to get juiced about. The Celtics came out sloppy. It was very clear early on that they weren't going to have the energy that they needed to make this at least the type of game that everybody wanted to see. If you could find the game, by the way, which started on True TV and had to get flipped over to TNT, which TNT did without warning. And I'm all over the place to start this podcast, which is exactly how the Celtics were in the first quarter of this game, just frantic and all over the place. And did anybody pay attention to what was going on? Could you pay attention to what was going on? That was my impression of the Boston Celtics in the first quarter. So I'm not worked up about this, because I do think that this year the Celtics are giving in, I'll say, to the pitfalls. I've said this before on the podcast. I've said it to them. I've asked the last time I was able to ask Jaylen Brown a question. I pissed them off about why aren't they fighting through these, areas of fatigue, and I call it the traps of the season. But yeah, it's the third game of 4 nights. And, after the game, Brian Scalabrine on NBC Sports Boston was like, I'm not liking the habits that the Celtics have. And to his point, it was, what you're supposed to do on the floor, and you fight to do that. And what the defense, the plan is. Your spacing is good. And it's okay to lose a game where it is a back-to-back and your third game in 4 nights, and this game against the Mavs is going to be 4 and 6, and I think they're in a 5 and 7 stretch. It's a really rough stretch of schedule, and that is part of it. And you can have your good habits and still lose these games. That's okay. The part where I don't like it, and I think where people are going to get hung up on, like, really not liking it, is that when they lose, it looks bad, and they don't have a they have a habit of losing in an unappealing way. I think maybe that's the way to put it, because the shots don't fall and the defense suffers, and um they give up offensive rebounds and they turn the ball over, and they're smoking layups, and you just look at it and you go, what is happening here? Um, it's a very Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like that's a running joke. And they're like, what is happening right now? Very confusing because you don't know what is going on. And guys who normally play well, you're like, why did you make that decision? Why can't you finish layups? Let's just put this out there. When I say the Celtics didn't have it, they just didn't have it. They didn't just smoke bunnies. They were out there chain smoking bunnies. They shot at the rim in the restricted area 10 for 26. 10 for 26 in the restricted area. That is 38.5%. The worst team in the NBA in the restricted area this season is the Charlotte Hornets. They shoot 62% at the rim this season. The Celtics shot 38.5% at the rim. How do you take 26 layups, 26 shots at the rim, and miss 16 of them? And some of you will be screaming, well, John, they got fouled. Okay, some of them probably, yes. And some of the Lakers shots at the rim probably also are fouls. It's entirely possible that there are shots at the rim in the NBA every night that are uncalled fouls. I'm not going to lean on that. The Celtics shot 10 of 26 in the restricted area. That is the hottest of hot garbage. That is the absolute worst. And when you shoot 10 of 26 at the rim, good Lord, how many opportunities does that give the Lakers? No wonder the Lakers were always out in transition. More than the transition defense was terrible, which it was. You're also putting pressure on that transition defense by consistently missing layups. It's much worse than the missed 3-pointers, because at least with the missed 3-pointers, kind of everybody is back. If Jrue Holiday misses a 3-pointer, he's not under the rim. Every one of these shots that you miss at the rim ends up becoming a 5-on-4 somewhere. So the Celtics just, when I say missed, they missed so many shots and they missed so many opportunities. Like, okay, I'm not happy. I'm willing to just say 3rd and 4. All right, it happens. The Celtics didn't have the right energy. Hell, even their habits slipped. They have a chance on Saturday to beat the Dallas Mavericks, go 3-1 on the road trip. They still have either the best or second best road record in the league. They are still right there at the top. And yes, they are inconsistent, and all the stuff that you're saying and screaming at your radio or out loud somewhere. I'm sorry that I've made you look like a crazy person as you're screaming to me in public. But all of that stuff said, like, I still feel like it's they're gonna get through it, because this isn't typical stuff. And maybe I'm wrong. I will admit, maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see this as the typical stuff that people want to lean on. All the complaints that I do see, I feel like it's a weird stretch, and I feel like they definitely have a lot to work on. but I'm not at I'm still not at panic mode yet. And because they are still the third best team in the NBA, even despite all this. But they are 3-8 after wins since December 15th. That's not good. Um, they're 12-1 after losses, which is great, but this pattern of responding to adversity and then falling into adversity is very Sideshow Bob stepping on rakes. This is just every opportunity they have to step into something that hurts them, they just keep doing it. And then it goes away and then they step into something else. It's a pattern that they have to break. Now, through all of this, they had a chance in the third quarter to actually make this a game, to show some resilience and do something. They didn't. I'll talk about that when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. From the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the NFL experience and the playoffs even more exciting. Right now, new customers, that's you, can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win your first bet. So you get $300 to keep the action going if you win your first bet. FanDuel is very easy to navigate. And the variety of bets can keep every game exciting. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. There's no waiting around for your winnings, whether you're betting on your favorite team or if you're looking just to add a little extra excitement to the playoffs. FanDuel has you covered. They also have the tools to help you stay within your budget to gamble responsibly so you can set your limits, set your budget, have fun with what you can afford to lose, and that's it, because that's what we want you to do. Just have some fun over there at FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com. Join today. Get started with $300 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Make the playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Would love it if you go sign up for the new Locked On Celtics newsletter. Every day, Monday through Friday, you get coverage of the Celtics, the NBA, and fantasy basketball, all delivered to your inbox. All you got to do is go to LockedOnDaily.com, LockedOnDaily.com. Click on that Locked On Celtics logo, sign up, put your email in there, and Monday through Friday, it gets dropped directly to your inbox. Open it up, read it, and you'll get even links to some of your favorite Celtics content around the web. The Celtics, okay, so they stumbled out of the gates in the first quarter. You could tell right away that it was going to be a bit of a problem because they gave up the first two buckets they gave up were second chances, and then they gave up a bunch of easy looks. They had a stretch there where they were missing. I mean, when I say missing every layup, I gave you all the numbers just now. They missed a ton of layups, and they were defensively giving up free runs to the basket. But regardless, they still managed to get within 12. And this is the turning point of the game to me. 7:19 mark to go. All right, 7:19 mark in the third quarter. The Celtics had cut it to 12. Then here's your sequence of events. Porzingis blocks Anthony Davis. Derek White comes down and turns it over. Rui Hachimura misses. The Celtics come down and get 3 3-pointers in a possession. It was Jaylen, Jrue, and maybe Porzingis, somebody else. Derek White gets 2 offensive rebounds. They miss all 3 3-pointers. Lakers come down. White blocks Austin Reeves. Jayson Tatum comes down, is fouled, misses 2 free throws. Max Christie misses a 3, another stop. Jaylen Brown fouled. He misses 2 free throws. All in a span of about 2.5 minutes. All of this stuff happens. The Celtics get 1, 2, 3, 4 stops. They have cut this lead from 21 down to 12. Plenty of time. Again, the 7:19 mark in the third quarter. They have 4 straight possessions, a turnover, 3 missed 3-pointers in a single possession, 4 missed free throws. So make your free throws. That's 4 points. Turn one of those shots, just one, either the turnover, well, I'll count that as one, or one of the 3-3-pointers. Convert one of those things into a basket. And that's at least 6, maybe 7 points. So that lead could go from 12 down to potentially 6 or 5. And that's still with just under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. What if the Celtics had cut this down to 5 with just under 5 minutes to go? It was a 19-point lead. It goes down to, if they get it down to 5, now the Lakers, who are not a great second half team, start to feel a little bit of pressure, start to feel a little bit of this, here we go again. The Celtics getting a little juice. And who knows what happens? Maybe the Celtics still lose. But those are the opportunities that you just cannot miss if the Celtics are going to win these games. And if there's one thing that's really bothersome, is that the Celtics aren't really capitalizing on these types of opportunities anymore. These end of game situations where you're supposed to be smart and you're supposed to just execute, convert, and they don't. This stretch here, like, tired or not, man. Okay, the 3 missed 3-pointers, maybe that's tired. Free throws, I know you're tired, but come on. Come on. I don't understand why these are so difficult. That is to me, and trust me, if anybody knows anything about missing free throws, I know plenty about missing free throws. It was definitely a weakness of mine, for sure. And it's a mental thing. You're there. There's either you're giving into the fatigue or you're aware of the moment. And one of the things that I know I couldn't do when I was playing was I was too aware of moments when I was playing. And I know that in that space, you have to be like blank. It's just you and the rim. And that's hard to do. So, but these guys are NBA players. And I very clearly was nowhere near an NBA player. But that level of focus, concentration, it has to be there. Layups, you got to make your layups. You know, like Jrue Holiday. I love Jrue Holiday. I think he's an amazing player and vital to Boston's success, but he is having a very bad stretch. That end of game against Atlanta, and then this, like, he's just the beginning of the third quarter, he had the Celtics were making another run. The entire third quarter was missed opportunity after missed opportunity. He had a missed layup, obviously, is the big story of the day, and then a turnover when the Celtics had gotten 2 stops and they were starting to try to make a run. The Lakers, after a first half where they shot 24 of 58, so 50%, 11 of 20 from 3, 55%, a perfect 8 of 8 from the line, and put up 67 points in the first half. They had quarters of 34 and 33. In the third quarter, again, the Lakers are not a good second half team. 6 of 24 from the field in the third quarter, 1 of 11 from 3, 3 of 4 from the line. They scored 16 points in the third quarter, and the Celtics only shaved 4 points off the lead. That is such a massive missed opportunity. It's no wonder that they fell apart in the fourth quarter. That was their push. That was their run. They had it. They had it. They held the Lakers to 16 points. The Celtics shot 7 of 21. So if they had just shot a good percentage, make your layups and you're 50% from the field. If you're 11 of 21, it's 4 more baskets. Just to forget the 3-pointers, just 4 more layups, 8 points. You make that 28-16. All of a sudden, that lead is, I mean, you've doubled them up. So first, at the end of the third quarter, the lead was 15. You take another 8 points off that lead, all of a sudden you're at 7 heading into the fourth quarter, and anything can happen. The momentum changes. Does it become a 34? Garbage time changes this up a little bit, but does it become a 34-28? Do the Lakers push their lead out to 25 like they did normally in this fourth quarter? I don't think so. And who knows how this could have gone. So, missed opportunities. The Celtics bench completely let them down. A lot of bad individual performances. I mean, you need a lot of bad individual performances to go down by 28 was their biggest deficit. We'll talk about individual stuff when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by Talkspace. Therapy is a game changer. I know that for sure. I have gone through therapy. I continue to work on myself, and it's something that can help manage stress. It improves your sleep. It can help you communicate more effectively. That's a big one. Talking is a big deal. Talking through things and finding the right therapist is tough. Fitting sessions into a busy schedule, definitely a challenge, but Talkspace is there for you. They are the leading virtual therapy provider, and it makes getting you the help you need easy, accessible, and affordable. It's super simple to sign up. You can match with a licensed therapist who fits your needs, usually within 48 hours. It's convenient. You can have sessions from the comfort of your home and even message your therapist in between appointments. Plus, Talkspace is covered by many insurance plans. For most insured members, there's $0 copay. It's never been easier to prioritize mental health. As a listener of this podcast, you'll get $80 off your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com/LockedOnNBA and enter the promo code SPACE80. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com/LockedOnNBA and enter the promo code SPACE80 to get $80 off your first month and show your support for the show. That's Talkspace.com/LockedOnNBA, promo code SPACE80. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On NBA Game Night. Normally, this would be my night to do Locked On Game Night, but the Celtics played, and I am here working instead of watching the rest of the NBA. Got to get caught up on that later. But check out Jake Madison, who's holding it down over on Locked On NBA Game Night. And check out the whole Locked On NBA feed because there's a lot of good stuff there. So go check that out wherever you get your Locked On Celtics podcast. It's there too. Individual stuff. Ooh, boy. Like I said, Jrue Holiday. I don't know what's going on with him, but this was a rough one. 1 of 6 in this game. He had been on a little bit of a roll, but tough one here. The whole backcourt, right? Jrue Holiday, Derek White, 1 of 5, 1 of 3 from 3, also 1 of 3 from 3. 3 assists for him, a block shot. Not good. 3 points each, 6 points from your starting backcourt, and then 7 from Pritchard. So 13 points. Pritchard shot 2 of 12. So 2 of 12 from him, 2 of 11 for White and Holiday, 4 of 23 for your 2 starting guards and your backup guard. Gross. A combined 3 of 11 from 3. Terrible, horrible. This. I'm not going to go screaming saying it's unacceptable, but you're never going to win. The Celtics are never going to win a game if Derek White, Jrue Holiday, and Payton Pritchard are give you single digits. Never mind Al Horford. Never mind, Sam Hauser was 2 of 4 from 3. So, maybe, he missed his first couple, but look, the Celtics went in there. They took advantage of mismatches. Kristaps Porzingis had 22 points, 9 of 16, 2 of 5 from 3. He had a decent game. The Celtics got, switches, and God, if I had to hear Reggie Miller say, well, the Lakers will take that from the Celtics, the tough contested twos. Yeah, he's right. The Lakers accepted hey, if Porzingis wants to take those tough shots, then he can take those tough shots. And the the Lakers would indeed live with those shots. Just didn't need to hear it every 2 seconds. But they hunted the mismatches, and maybe this is a lesson for the Celtics where they have to just be better. And look, I thought the offense was just not very well run in this game. They may have taken the bait to get in there, hunt the mismatches, go up against the smaller Lakers, and deal with, hey, the Lakers would dig at the ball and but not entirely double all the time. But they would get their hand in there and poke a couple away. And that was a pretty decent defensive game plan. The Celtics still got up 41 3-pointers. They shot 34%, which isn't good, but the Lakers went 15 of 35, which is much, much, much better than the Lakers shoot, which is another element of this whole thing. It's another team that just overshot their percentages. It's another team that faced the Celtics, and for either some of it was definitely bad defense, and some of it was here we go again with Gabe Vincent going 4 of 7 from 3. This guy can't shoot anywhere else, but here he is, 4 of 7 from 3 against the Celtics. You get who else? Rui Hachimura is 2 for 5. You get, is it Dalton Connect, who is known to hit shots, and 3 or 4 from him. But overall, the Lakers aren't the best 3-point shooting team, and they shoot 43%. And win that, they hit 15 to Boston's 14. The Celtics points in the paint, and the Celtics may have taken the bait, but because of the transition points, which the Lakers won 16-5, Celtics points in the paint, missed layups, cost them. They lost that battle too. So the Celtics get Porzingis, shooting, playing pretty well. Tatum and Brown both shoot in the 30% range there. They're not having great shooting nights, but okay, you can overcome that stuff if Derek White, Jrue Holiday, Peyton Pritchard, Al Horford, if any of those guys give you anything. But the Celtics bench, especially, poor Luke Cornett, that was a bad decision to put Luke Cornett out there. I don't know if the double big was the right way to go against the Lakers. They might have wanted to just go single big against the Lakers and go with Porzingis and just swap Porzingis and Horford the whole night. Go single big and let Tatum handle some of let Tatum handle Hachimura. Let Tatum handle LeBron James. Like, if LeBron James goes off, that's fine. I'm not too worried about that, honestly, because what kills Boston is Austin Reeves going for 23, getting Gabe Vincent going for 12, and Dorian Finney-Smith. No, he didn't getting Connect in there for 13. Like, all the other guys. Like, if LeBron's going to go try to be a bulldozer through Al Horford, fine. But the Celtics just, you can't let the other guys beat you, and you have to have your own other guys. When the Celtics are at their best, your own other guys have to do some heavy lifting. So shrug. I go back to one of the things that I say after losses like this. How often are Derek White and Jrue Holiday going to give you 6 points combined? That doesn't happen very often. And is it because they just didn't want to do it? Are you going to question whether Derek White wants to play hard and win? No, it's just the Celtics offense, quite frankly, sucked. The way they ran their offense was terrible. The spacing was garbage. And when that happens, it falls on Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown to do a lot of the work. And even then, Jayson Tatum took 12 shots. That's one of the more confusing performances I've ever seen from Jayson Tatum. Honestly, he loves going back and playing in LA. He grew up a Lakers fan because he loved Kobe Bryant. Tatum in LA is like, he loves playing in Los Angeles. He loves playing against the Lakers. He loves putting on a show. It's TNT at, oh, hell, I'll still call it Staples. I don't care. But Tatum usually loves that moment. And he didn't really 5 of 12 shooting, 2 of 6 from 3, 4 of 7 from the line. No. 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Okay. Not a great performance. So maybe the fatigue is a real thing, but the Celtics have to find a way to fight through this stuff. Maybe you just need to get to the All-Star break. But again, the mood is sour because they lost. You beat Dallas, you go 3-1 on the road trip, and that's a success. You can't expect to fully sweep all of these road trips. And yeah, you want to go 4-0, but 3-1 on a West Coast swing. That's good. That's good. So go beat Dallas. We'll say the Lakers loss was disappointing, but if you can go beat Dallas, I don't want to say all is forgiven, but much is forgiven. And then you go back home and you try to piece it together. I'm really not going to panic because the Celtics are still really good. But man, they really make it hard to keep your head on straight and look at, this is another weird, different way that the Celtics lose a game. How many times are the Celtics going to shoot 38% at the rim? That is a complete outlier number. That's not something that usually happens, but there they are doing it. We'll see. We'll try to make sense of it all. I'll be back on Saturday. I know the comment section is going to be full of like people like panicking and, oh boy, it's going to be full of Lakers fans. It's going to be chock full of Lakers fans. I mean, look, the Lakers aren't going to win anything this season. So if this is, their moment to celebrate, then, oh, well, congratulations. You got the win over Boston on January 23rd. Way to go. Raise a banner. Put it next to your in-season tournament banner. All right, I'll be back on Saturday with a bonus podcast. Make sure you're subscribed to get the podcast directly to your device. Watch the show on YouTube. And I would love it if you shared the podcast and told everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.